guys, welcome along. This is Rival Kingdoms, you're watching Mickus, and today we have a very special video as we have confirmed Stronghold 17 is being released, and it should be released around the 14th of July. Now, they did mention that Stronghold 17 would be released this summer, so it sort of makes sense. 1 + 1 = 2, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. This is possibly the Stronghold 17 in the picture, and it looks like maybe possibly a new troop is also being added to the game, which will be exciting to see. Okay, so in preparation to Stronghold 17, we have some changes to the rings, mithril. There will be an event, and there will be more stuff being crafted. So without further ado, let's go through and start off with the rings. Okay, so let's start off with the arena. So the arena has slightly changed from its old system at 4,750, giving you 13 rings for the easiest, ranging all the way to 23 rings for 6,001 or higher in honor. It has now changed to a minimum of 15 rings for the easiest, and for 6,001, it will offer you 29 rings. Now, if you go over to 6,001 and you reach 6,301, you will receive between 25 rings and 31 rings. And of course, there will be another one which is over 6,701 or higher, which will give you between 27 rings for the easiest and 33 for the hardest. Now let's look at the personal tournament. So the personal tournament used to be 60 rings for the first place in Stronghold 5 and 6. However, now it's 100. Moving on, Stronghold 7 and 9 used to be 120 rings, now is 240. Stronghold 10 through to 12 used to be 240. They are now 350. And of course, Strongholds 13 through to 16 used to be 350. However, Stronghold 13, 14, and 15 will now receive 400 rings for a first place. And of course, Stronghold 16 will receive 450 rings. Now, as for Stronghold 17, I'm assuming will probably be the same. Okay, and finally to the Kingdom Raids. So from the Kingdom Raids, they have changed dramatically. Starting at the first place wins for Arrow was 275, now it's 450. In Axe it was 600, now it's 800. In Claymore it was 800, now it's a massive 1,400. And of course in Hammer League used to be 1,300, but now is 2,000 rings. In addition to that, 6th place will always give you the same amount of rings as the prior first place league. Okay, looking at the mithril cap has been extended from 60 all the way to 100. In addition to that, we also have the daily campaigns that used to give 9 to 14 mithril shards per drop. However, they now give 13 through to 20. As well as that, we also have the defense ad chest in the top right hand corner of your screen, where you get the free diamonds and the attack chest. They used to give 1 mithril shard if you were kind of unlucky, but now they will give you 5 mithril shards, which is kind of still unlucky. Okay, so moving on, we can see an ancient up on the screen. She is Swiftwing, who is also a nature ancient, and she starts at Superior. Okay, so looking at her abilities, she has 2 number 2 abilities and 1 number 1 ability, as she has no number 3 ability. So starting with her number 1 ability, it's called Gust. It costs 5 mana to deploy, and affected units will gain a set amount of increased speed for a set period of time. So number 2 ability is Wing Blast, which costs 10 mana, and it summons a tornado for a set period of time that will damage a certain amount of damage to each second to buildings underneath, and it's doubled against walls. Once summoned, the tornado will move slowly towards the enemy stronghold if the stronghold is still standing. So a great way to funnel your troops. And the second ability is called Second Wind. Now this costs 10 mana also, and the affected troops, or the affected allies I should say, gain a second wind which lasts until it triggers. If an affected unit drops below 25% health, they will recover a set amount of health and become immune to common debuffs for a set period of time. So by the sounds of it, this spell will not do anything to your troops until they hit 25% of health. So let's move on to the event and have a look at how we can get Swiftwing in more detail. Broken Wings. They didn't listen. I meant the best for everyone, but a single arrow changed it all. So terrifying. All it took was a little piece of metal, a little piece of wood, and the time of a single heartbeat. Such little things, and all our lives were changed. But mostly mine. Like I said, they didn't listen. Okay, so let's go through all the event details in more detail. Okay, so the event will start on Friday the 8th of July at 11 AM UTC time, aka the English time, and it will finish on Monday at the exact same time on July the 11th. Now, it will be an individual event, and the event currency is Selkie shells. We're going to call them shells, so let's go through how to get the points. Okay, so we have arena wins, which will give you 6 shells, and for player versus player, multiplayer, will give you 4 shells. If you use Swiftwing as your ancient, you'll receive an extra 6 shells for a win. And of course, if you use boosters for a win, if they are a troop booster, you will also receive points. Now the troop boosters are soldiers, wardens, paladins, maulers, death knights, mana hunters, raiders, Primus Mage, and rally flags. Now they'll receive a 1 shell for a superior, 2 for rare, 3 for an epic, and of course 5 for a legendary. Now the other thing that gives you points will be the Vial of Fertility. Now the Vial of Fertility, I'm not sure how to get, I'm assuming by chest, but if you use a superior you will receive 6 shells, rare will give you 10, epic 14, and legendary 24 for a win. Okay, so let's go through the prizes one by one, and yeah, the fun part begins. Okay, so for 5 shells, you'll receive Swiftwing's rare herbs, which can be used to craft Swiftwing. For 35 shells, you'll receive 50,000 gold. Okay, so let's go through all the prizes one by one. For 95 shells, you'll receive 1,000 nature primus. For 125 shells, you'll receive 100,000 gold. For 160 shells, you'll receive 20 crystals. For 275 shells, you'll receive 20 more Swiftwing's rare herbs. For 450 shells, you'll receive 1 million gold. For 700 shells, you'll receive 1 mithril. For 850 shells, you'll receive another 30 herbs for a total of 55. For 1,000 shells, you'll receive a bronze statue chest. For 1,300 shells, you'll receive 30 more crystals. And of course, for 1,700 shells, you'll receive 40 more runes. And of course, 2,400 shells will give you 2 more mithril. So kind of pretty high, but yeah, that's basically how it is. Okay, so let's go over to the Alchemy Workshop as we open it up and looking at the battle boosters, and there is nothing new here, just the normal. Looking at the mithril, shouldn't have done that anyway, that's just normal. Unique recipes. Now, unique recipes have slightly changed. You can see Swiftwing there, as it costs 50 herbs to create. So you'll have 5 left over after the event, and it takes 10 seconds. Now, moving to the Mechanical Pinion, which is her first ascension item to ascend her to rare, it will cost you 100 more herbs. And of course, you can buy another pinion, which will ascend her to epic. Now, in order to make her legendary, you'll need to make another 3 of those pinions, which cost 150 herbs, and then you will be able to craft the legendary petrified wing. Now, in order to get that wing, you'll also need some more herbs and some more runes. Now, in addition, we have the Artemis, which costs 400 crystals and a bunch of runes, and that is for Kestra. And of course, you can craft your own Swiftwing's rare herbs after the event in here. But don't be alarmed, you don't have to use your crystals. You will also receive them in your daily campaign for Armani's Grove. Now, in addition to that, we also have in the time exclusive the Full Moon Nectar, which is still available for another 38 days. But I'm going to leave you there today. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to go to a live raid. Ooh, we got Lilith. Okay, so Lilith is the queen, or she used to be the queen of the Smash Empire. She is now one of the lords, I do believe, the ladies of Encore, which is a brand new group. If you're looking for a kingdom, check them out. They're a great bunch of people. But until next time, I'm going to leave you with a live raid, and let's try and destroy Lilith as we are in the arena. Let's just switch out our Ancient to Lyris. Now, I did just, by the way, before we go for this raid, I did ascend Siku, but unfortunately I didn't catch it on the recording. Something went wrong with my recording and I lost all the visual. So I was going to show you guys, but unfortunately I had those problems and I couldn't. But anyway, I'm going to leave you there for the previous video. It will be last week's video, and of course the related feature video. I'll put a link to the Stronghold 17 sneak peek. And until next time, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of sound. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below, share with your friends, watch some other videos. Until next time, have a great day. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. Cheers.